Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the KISS Europe race out on the London course today. KISS Europe race is going to be doing 2 laps out there today. We're going to be following along throughout the race with the A riders, as well as we do have some of the B riders out on course, and C riders and D riders actually that we'll be able to keep up with. But most of the coverage will be shot between the A and the C category. I believe we do have one rider hanging out in the C category for us, just getting going out there today as well. So let's jump right into the action, though, as riders have gotten out onto the course. As you can see here, it is a solid group. It looks like there were at least 50 riders in and amongst the A category, actually, as they do head underneath the start-finish banner, the Prudential Ride London start-finish banner. We also do have the C category all starting at the same time today. Interesting. Usually the KISS races did separate out the categories, but it looks like today the categories have been started. They are separate, but they've been started all at the exact same time, actually. My interesting question then would be, are they taking advantage of the feature actually out there where all of the other riders are unseen then, that are a part of the other category? I do see a bunch of riders, though, up ahead with the C category riders that we do have out there right now, though. So it does look like they only see those that are a part of their race. As you can see here, this is the coverage from the other avatar that did log in for us here, and we are seeing here E. Graham from the C category out of Canada, hammer rate 5.1 watts per kilogram, right around with N. Smith on the front. They're also in the C category, all labeled with that little C next to their name. In the A category, then if we shoot back real quickly here, we can see that they do see all the other avatars, but they are only seen in the riders list nearby the A category riders. Be interesting to see what the update is there with the KISS organizers and how they're utilizing some of the new features in Zwift for their racing today. Real quick note on all of the race rules today for the KISS Europe night race. Power-ups are allowed at all times. All the bikes are allowed, so if any rider would want to jump on a TT bike, they would be allowed to do so. All the riders, as you can see, do have their name along with their team name and what category that they're going to be riding in next to their name. At least most of them do. Simon Oxenham, a good example here, as you can see, riding for, let's see if we can get a good shot of the rider. Simon Oxenham, you can spot him real easily right here with the Team Experimental kit on. X is in his name, and he does have the A category next to him. Longtime racer and rider out on Zwift. I think he's been among the riders actually all the way since beta, from what I can remember. S. Jefferson out here out of the US of A with a verified badge. Be watching out for him to see what is going on with Jefferson out here today. Probably going to embarrass myself wondering who the rider is here. Jefferson hammering away now out of the US of A. If somebody's got, I'm going to double check here. Maybe ZwiftPower.com can help us out with what the verified badge is there for Jefferson out there today. Timothy Termont hanging out over at the Facebook. Keith Wilson, good to see you as well. If you would like to interact with the broadcast today, I can see all of your interactions over at the Facebook, as well as at Twitter. If you would like to tweet us at Z Community Live, you can bring questions and comments right on in. And that would be a good warm-up for tomorrow as the riders do get going here out onto the course. Not a whole lot of action is going to be happening until they do hit Box Hill. A lot of times we may see an attack or two as they head up into the square and then take the left-hand turn on over toward the climb onto Box Hill here. But a good warm-up for tomorrow. If you would like to interact with us as well, we do have the launch of our Workout Wednesdays that will be happening here on Zwift's Facebook, actually. We do have Coach Hendy with us, Greg Henderson, actually, tomorrow for episode 3. We've done the first 2 episodes over on Zwift Community Live, and from here on out, we will be going over onto Zwift's Facebook with it. So tomorrow night, August 16th, 8 p.m. British Standard Time, you can join us for a workout with Coach Hendy for a live workout, a dose of of Dowsett. It sounds like it's going to be a solid TT effort for me. Coach Hendy is going to be walking me through that workout, and you get to watch Nathan suffer essentially for the dose of Dowsett. Get a solid workout, some type 2 type of fun, while Greg Henderson will hang out, answer questions, as well as show you what his workouts are all about. You can check out his workouts actually over at CoachHendy.com for the full download of those workouts, or we will make available the dose of Dowsett for you to download and for you to actually join in with us into the broadcast tomorrow by logging into Zwift and loading that ZWO file into your Zwift. We'll have some promos from Mr. Shane Miller, actually JP Lama. We'll be linking those over at Zwift Community Live throughout the next 24 hours to show you how to do that, as well as get you that download for the workout tomorrow. So make sure to jump in for that. We do have some attacks here, though. As we were saying before, Box Hill, they did go into the square pretty hot there, it looked like, as we are seeing Halstead with Kaland. Then it looks like Diner from Vision Cycling here, right along with Fleetwood. And then Johan Gren has been absolutely just dominating the scene since he's jumped out onto Zwift as of recently. And this is a strong group off the front now with 6 seconds over Jay Marshall. It looks like Pelosi as well trying to close that down. Cliven here from the BRT team, always one to be watching out for. And he may be able to close this down and bring that pack right on back. I don't think a guy like Cliven is going to allow this to be getting away anytime soon. Diner here, 4.3 watts per kilogram, up toward the front now, right along with Halstead now. And it looks like this group of, I believe we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or so riders. Does have a solid 5 seconds, but Pelosi here has something to say about that, right up into that 7.3 watts per kilogram or so. Try and get that speed up to about 29 miles per hour. As you can see, 3.3 miles in to this race today. They will be doing a total of 29K and a little about 18, I think that's 18.5 miles today. This is the A category race for users that are just tuning in. So these riders are going to be expecting to do about 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher for their functional threshold power. The B category riders will be doing somewhere between 3.2 and 4.0 watts per kilogram. The C category riders are expected to do 2.5 to 3.2 for their functional threshold power. And D category riders will be doing around 2.5 or less out on Zwift today. So that is the categories for any time you'd like to jump into a race out on Zwift. Make sure to reference those and what your functional threshold power is, so that you do jump into the correct race category, so that everybody has the right people to be racing against. Here's a little graphic to show you exactly what all the rider categories are out there. If you're unfamiliar with what an FTP is, you can also reference, let's see here if we do have, we do have a FTP graphic here. For A category, 4.0 or higher, B category, 3.2 to 4.0, 2.5 to 3.2 for that C, and D category is 2.5 or under, actually, not to 3.2 there, but the functional threshold power there is the maximum mod you can sustain for 60 minutes. If you haven't done an FTP test, you could do one, or you could check out zwiftpower.com, and it does give you a good idea after you do a race exactly what kind of 20-minute effort you can throw down if you're going all out in a race that does force you into a no man's land. A lot of times people do just race their way into figuring out where they stand amongst the riders, but it is suggested that you jump into an FTP test, or at least get an idea about what you could hold for your functional threshold power for that 1 hour straight. Does look like it is a 27-second or so gap. Now back to the leader Jefferson here of this chase group as they do head into Box Hill. This is going to be the point at which the real contention starts to open up. We are seeing Diner here up toward the front, right along with Johan Gren, 8.3 watts per kilogram, 560 watts. We are seeing a aero power up already coming from Tom O'Kalan here out of Norway, with Diner 7.3 watts per kilogram at about 176 beats per minute. But using that feather power up now, as you can see here, up and out of the saddle with short socks. It looks like that's one of the okay, so we did do a Zwiftcast recently, Simon and Shane and I, and one of the some of the topic of discussion was all around the additions to the avatar customization. And it's really interesting seeing all of the ways that the avatars have been redesigned by the users as of recently. So we are seeing Philip Diner here up at the front here. Short socks, it looks like, with cool shades and no helmet is the way that he's going with a green Tron bike out there. Oh, and a dropout though, as you saw the Tron bikes there lose their light there for a second. The power went out. Just letting Johan maybe go to the front rather than be the one who's taking up the brunt of the work. Kalen now trying to close that down 2 seconds back, as you can see here. See what his avatar's looking like here. Short socks as well with no helmet and the slick shades. And now we are seeing Hazelstedt here now trying to close things down, all in the red and black here, riding for Norway now on that red canyon. See if he can close this down now, as we are seeing Jay Post here trying to close it down as well. Out of the US of A with Larson, and then it is going to be Oxenham just a little ways back, but it is Diner and Johan off the front here, absolutely killing it now. It looks like 3 seconds up from Tom Ove Kalen. Zwiftpower.com is the place to be, boys and girls, when it comes to the live results, though. As it is continually tracking the kind of wattage that these riders are putting out for the duration of the race out there today. Zwiftpower.com, and if you head on over to the race and the live tab, you can actually see continually what the output is of each one of the riders, as well as what their past results are, as they are saved into the database over there. So if you haven't visited Zwiftpower.com yet, this is where I'm getting all of the data. Johan Gray, as you can see here, with Philip Dyna here off the front as well. 4.8 watts per kilogram, as you can see, is what they have held for the duration so far. The chasers here with Jay Marshall, as well as you are seeing Payne and Alvesberg actually here up into that 4.3, but 5.1 coming from Marshall so far for the duration of the race. So solid effort here for the chase there, coming from Jay Marshall right now. 4.4 watts per kilogram from him, 178 beats per minute actually, as he's chasing down Woodhead. It looks like Groot there, Pelosi, and then Fleetwood here off the back. It looks like everyone's kind of in their solo TT mode, almost up and over the top of Box Hill. It's always very difficult to hold a wheel, as the draft doesn't matter quite as much in this massive multiplayer online training tool that is Zwift. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, we probably have a ton of questions coming through over at the, I believe a lot of times over at the Mixer channel, we get a ton of questions coming through about what is going on here. This is a massive multiplayer online game, actually, that these riders are in by pedaling their bikes, actually real bikes with real efforts right now from Philip Diner. Actually, Philip Diner is in Germany, most likely in Germany. That's his country flag, as you can see there on the right hand side, currently putting out 441 watts actually at 178 beats per minute at an all-out effort over the top of this incline that he is actually having to put the same kind of wattage out that he would have to in real life to climb at this kind of speed. Gren just trying to hold on to his wheel here now, coming out of Sweden at 177 beats per minute. All these riders absolutely demolishing themselves to hold on to this pace up and over the top, about the 6 to 6.5 minute climb or so for the A riders at the front of this race. There are organized teams then in the game as well by the community. As you see Johan here, Gren, in that PTZ kit that is a community designed as well as placed in game kit there, right along with Philip Diner, riding for Vision Cycling actually there out of Germany here. And then we do have Kalen here riding for the KISS Racing team actually, and that is actually the organization that does run the current race that you are looking at right now. So Kalen here just about 6 seconds off the back. He's not out of sight completely, but he needs to get together with a few of these chasers and form a solid chase group, as it's going to be extremely difficult at this point to pull back 9 seconds, which will most likely go out to about, I would say, 20 or more, as they do crest over the top of Box Hill and gained a ton of speed on the other side of that climb. We'll see if they have that continuance to hold off the likes of Kalen and Hazelstead and Post. We've all gotten together and formed a solid chase group now. Kalen now bumping up into 7.5 watts per kilogram, 171 beats per minute, as you can see here. So still a solid chase out to 13 seconds. Will they be able to hold it right there, or are they going to be off the back consistently now as Gren and it looks like Diner now 15 seconds off the front? Now we do see a little bit of the crowd here cheering on riders as they do come through the KOM banner. We are seeing a 558 right now. Hazelstead here 156, 178, and then a 168 for heart rates right now. They are about little under, right around 10 seconds off the pace of those front runners for that KOM. You are seeing that KOM banner up on top here. 557 actually for Johan, so he does grab that King of the Mountain up and over the top. Johan absolutely killing it right now. 557 above me. Now you wonder what are those results above me. A lot of times we get questions about those. That is actually for the King of the Mountain. That's actually the time it took them to climb up and over the top of Box Hill. And if you do get the fastest time in the event, you can be awarded, as you can see here, that jersey, that King of the Mountain jersey. Now, it does not actually change in the event, but it does show that they do own the King of the Mountain jersey. And then outside of the event, though, they would also own it as well and actually don that jersey, put that jersey on in the general population out on Zwift, as there is general riding as well outside of this event. It's just they used the new feature that calls all the other riders from the world of Zwift for those who are in the event, so nobody can disrupt the race. And so it is an isolated event, but all the other riders who are out on course in the general population that are riding out on Zwift right now in the open world can see the racers. Actually, they just can't see everyone else. BJ Alfonso is hanging out over at the Mixer channel saying, go Johan Gren, go PTZ. CS Tricks, good to see you hanging out over there and modding the channel. We always appreciate you. And I hadn't done climbing races on the new setup. Interesting, CS Tricks is saying. Apparently they tweaked the cone of shame too. And maybe in response to our recent feature out on Zwiftcast. But Richard Morehouse, good to see you hanging out over at Zwift's Facebook. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Again, if you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and bring them into the broadcast by commenting over at the broadcast or at Z Community Live we can bring all of your questions or comments right on into the broadcast. So go ahead and do so if you do have any whatsoever on the racing out there today. Richard Morehouse goes ahead and gives us an example there. Good evening. Good to have you here hanging out in the live racing out on Zwift for the KISS EU today. If you would like to tweet at us, you can do so by tweeting at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live. Solid little shot here of the WP Taz boys. They did tweet at us yesterday to give us an example of how you can make that, have that happen, get that done. The WP Taz team ride turned into joining a race. Wild card for Nadsy. Go Zwift at Z Community Live. Secret Street Fire Nadsy out there. Good to see him tuning in and having a good time out on Zwift. Appreciate. And the wild card for Nadsy, that's all about, I think that's all about the E-Crit, trying to get him into the Australian E-Crit as a wild card out there for that race. Steph Gardner, we do see over at the Facebook. Good to have you here. Says hi all, and a hi to Nathan. Appreciate you, Steph. Always tuning in. Always good to have you here at the races. It is 18 seconds out to the strongman out here today in the A category right now. Kalen, about 17 seconds back, was able to drop off the rest of the riders. We'll go ahead and give him a ride on. That is a feature in the game that you can do where you go ahead and click that little thumbs up that was next to his name there. And then you can also use the mobile app to do it as well if you find the rider that you would like to give a ride on to. Download the Zwift mobile link. You're able to actually give it ride-ons right on through that as well as interact with the game through that. It does look like he did open up a solid 12 seconds though over Hazelstead and Jay Post now. So solid effort here from Kalen. It is a solid 12 seconds up to the leaders, but he is closing it down here. Diner now up into that 9 watts per kilogram real quickly there as he's trying to hang on to Johan. Johan now kicking out of this 12, 14, 15% gradient. This is one of the other moments out on course to make those attacks. You are seeing 14 watts per kilogram from Diner there to hang on to the wheel of Johan Gren. We'll see if this Kalen, though, can close it down. No 14 watts per kilogram for him, though, as he just sets it right at that 172. It's that all day long functional threshold power right now from Kalen to try and close this back down to those front runners, as they're just going to be kind of hanging out, I think, right around that 4.0 tempo pace, rather than trying to attack each other. Steph Garner's asking, are there any French in the race out there today? Steph, I'll double check here real quick for you. I'll take a look through a few of the country flags. You can actually check all the country flags. Actually, probably the easiest way to do that, rather than clicking through all of the avatars out on course, is to head on over to zwiftpower.com. And you can go ahead and scroll right on through and see all the country flags right next to all of the riders here. I'm seeing the Netherlands here right around along with the man there. What else we got here? Portugal, Brazil, USA. We are seeing Belgium. I'm not seeing any French flags out there at the moment. Maybe we need to tell Quentin the Fae to go ahead and log right in. Well over 100 riders, though, that did log into the game. But so sorry to say, Steph, no French riders out on the course today. But thanks a lot for the question and the interaction. We'll make sure to keep on bringing them your way. Hello, Johnson Brown saying, hello, is there a way I can pin your live casts in order to follow live races? Is there also new race schedule site for Zwift? Yes, Johnson Brown. So you can always head on over to zwiftcommunitylive.com for our schedule, as well as all the places that we go live. Now, our Zwift Community Live is always a great place to go for our Facebook, our Zwift Community Live Facebook, which is linked at zwiftcommunitylive.com. So that website, zwiftcommunitylive.com, you head on over there and you can actually see at the top, there are little icons for every place that we are live right now. We are live on Mixer, we are live on Twitch, we're live on YouTube, as well as on Facebook right now on Zwift's Facebook. Now, if you would like to get notifications, pick your favorite streaming platform, Mixer, Twitch, or YouTube, and you can set those up so that you get notifications anytime that we go live. You just go into your user settings. If you actually follow on Twitch or Mixer, I think there's a little tab actually as soon as you follow, and it asks you, do you want live notifications, push notifications to your email? I know for sure that Twitch has that right off the bat. If you follow through the mobile link as well, you're a mobile, not the mobile link, but if you follow through their mobile apps, they also have push notifications through the mobile apps as well on those live streaming platforms. So YouTube, Mixer, or Twitch, probably the best way to get direct notifications no matter what. Or on our Facebook, you can head on over to Zwift Community Live's Facebook and get push notifications set up there as well. The easiest way, though, most likely is to go to a live streaming platform. Thanks a lot for the question, Johnson Brown. I bet you a lot of people are asking that as well. Simon Michael Thomas says John Edwards. It's probably linking somebody's name there real quick for us. Appreciate that very much, letting people know all about the broadcast. All right, so Johan Gren here, 5.4 watts per kilogram at the front. We definitely want to check out what's happening in the C category, though, as we have been missing a little bit of that action. N. Smith here we are seeing up at the front of the race right now, out of Great Britain now, just about to finish up their first lap as well for that C category. E. Graham, looks like Smith was able to grab onto a few other riders actually in the category above him, 3.3 watts per kilogram or so. We'll have to double check the zwiftpower.com and see where he has ended up for his watts per kilogram off the front right now, 4.0. So Smith going to be getting that upgrade as he's going to be riding with, it looks like, some of the B category riders that were ahead of him actually. So solid effort there from Smith, but definitely an upgrade going to him. Graham is here as well. It looks like Graham now not into that 4.0 4.0. Smith is actually riding at about an A category level with that 20-minute power into that 4.0 or so. Graham's right on the edge there at 3.4, going to get an upgrade maybe into that B category. But it looks like Jay College with Oliver right along with Suarez now chasing him down. Oliver now 2.9 watts per kilogram, 3.1 or so here. We are seeing now 217 watts. This is the front group in and amongst the boys and girls at the front of this race in the C category, coming out of Spain, Great Britain, as well as Norway. And we are seeing Portugal represented as well as Belgium in this front, these front runners right now. And as they finish up their lap, they're going to be trying to chase down Smith and it looks like Graham here, who are fading at the front end of the race, it looks like. Back up toward the front of the A category now, though, we do have, it looks like, Philip Diner and Grant still extending their lead, 25 seconds or so. Let's go ahead and move our way back to Kayland here. He's not going to be seeing that front of the race again. He did set it at a steady tempo or threshold effort for a while, but it has been shut down so far. We are seeing a 20 minutes 37 seconds though coming from Diner, absolutely killing it with Johan as well. That is a crazy fast lap. T. Kayland here 20:49 for the lap out there. The orange jersey up above me, that is the fast lap, just so you know, out on course, that you can be awarded if you go out and try and take it out on course, and you do get the fastest time. Now we do see the KOM there up above us as well. No sprint data as they do not go through the classic course where the sprint section is out on Zwift. Looks like Kayland's gonna be waiting up for Post and Hazelstead and forming a chase group now as they make their way toward their second time up and over the top of Box Hill. Fleetwood now, it looks like here with Pelosi making up another chase group of 3, and it looks like Oxenham, Pelosi, and then Fleetwood with one rider up ahead who I'm not seeing any information about. It's actually A. Payne from Innovation, putting the Payne into the B category, absolutely killing it out there today. Let's go ahead and check out what's going on with this rider's crazy watts per kilogram. He broke away from the rest of the B category. He's actually up into, looks like 4.3 watts per kilogram or so. So he is going to be getting an upgrade, looks like, Payne at this point. I'm going to double check his past results. Coming out of South Africa, 5 races, Andrew Payne out on Zwift. Only 5 races for the Innovation rider. I thought I've seen him out there for more than that. Zwift results, I'm seeing 16 total, actually. So in the B category, he took a second place back on the 12th of August in the B category. Didn't get an upgrade in that, but we did see an upgrade back on the KISS Europe in the 27th of July. Was able to keep it within the category limits, though, most of the races between now and then. But he did get that upgrade into the A's, so it is time to race in the A categories. You do see him catching most of the A category riders right now and riding amongst them anyways. So Andrew Payne, though, is it Andrew? Excuse me. Is it Andrew? Excuse me. Let's just double check. And it is going to be Andrew Payne. Absolutely killing it, though. 292 watt estimated FTP for those Innovation boys. And those Innovation boys, they ride in that, as you can see here from the top down, in that Alienware kit, actually, with the usually a green bike. It looks like he does have the Zwift, the regular Zwift. What's the not the Concept, but the Concept is the Zwift road bike, the usual, the first one that you unlock out there. So solid effort here coming from Andrew Payne. No longer showing up suddenly, though. Oh, here we go. We do have him again right here. So in the B category, that is the random rider we are not seeing in amongst the riders on the right-hand side in the group riders nearby list. So it does look like everybody's kind of grupo compacto at this point. 169, we are seeing 170 beats per minute from Pelosi. 177 from Fleetwood. This is something we see a lot of times from Fleetwood, just setting it at a steady pace all day long. High threshold to tempo effort all day long. Pelosi here not giving up the ghost just yet, as we do see him pushing it into 4.3 watts per kilogram, making his way to the front. We'll give him a ride on for his effort there. Kayland and Post, it looks like Hazelstead only 40 seconds up. That'll close down pretty quickly, actually, as they make their way into Box Hill, as we are seeing 2.5 watts per kilogram or so coming from Kayland and Post. So they're not really pushing too much of an effort now. Pelosi and the rest, if they do close down a few of these seconds now, they could bring it within 20 seconds over the top of Box Hill. And as you can see, the spread between the riders up above me for that Box Hill timing, you're seeing Johan Gren 557, 558 there from Diner. 607 from Post, 608 or 607 from the rest there. in that chase group. So Oxenham and the rest here, they may be able to close that down if the other riders don't have that kind of an effort that are up ahead from Post, Kalen, and Hazelstead. Only at 34 seconds now. So if there is anything in reserve for this chase group, they could be fighting their way into a top 3 if they are able to catch this front group out there. So we'll see if that does end up panning out for the riders in this chase group. Back with the C category now, we do see it is still the same chase group, but they have brought it back to about 11 seconds to Graham. Graham way up and over the top of threshold, I think, for the duration of his first lap, as we are seeing him fade down to that 1.9 watts per kilogram. Smith still off the front, about 3.2 or so, now hanging out with a lead group in amongst, I think, some B riders that he was able to catch. S the man up there up front now. M Elder now 46 seconds back, 5 seconds back from Graham. Graham is going to be caught, it looks like, here by these front runners in the C category containing Suarez, Elder, Oliver, Langley, as well as Horkon. We are seeing, it looks like, Granian out of Norway trying to make that chase with Coachrum here in this chase group. Just 2 riders here in amongst a few of the Bs, though, that are with them as well, with this kind of a mass start race almost out on Zwift today. Suarez now out of Spain, though, 2.7 watts per kilogram, leading the way to catch up to Graham. Graham now, as he's been caught, bumps it up into 3.6. It looks like he did have a little bit of effort in reserve. Knew he was going to be caught, backed off, and he's just going to make sure that he grabs that draft as they head into Trafalgar Square and up their second time up over the top of the climb. Back in with the front runners now, though, as the A category is starting to make their way up and over the top. We are seeing Gren now attack. I'm in that 5.86 watts per kilogram for a second there. The rider riding for the PTZ team, actually coming out of Sweden, but riding for the Portugal based team. Hammering away 8.4 watts per 160 beats per minute. Diner here now with 173. Some of the strongest men out on Zwift right now, making their way up and over the top of this climb. We are seeing it has been a solid 4.9 for Diner, 4.7 from Johan Gren so far. Let's go ahead and see what their past results have been for the last couple of races. We are seeing that feather power up being thrown down by Diner, making that avatar a whole lot lighter for just a few seconds here. It is a 15-second power up. You'll see the avatar actually grow in just a second as soon as that power up releases, but now we are seeing 7.9, 181 beats per minute. Serious attack, actually, we're seeing here from Diner. I believe he does max out right around here. Let's go ahead and double check it. 51 races out on Zwift, 380 watt FTP is the estimation. We have seen him go all the way up into a 193, I think, for a max heart rate that was back on February 1st, 2017 in the SCR race series. He was actually the winner of the SCR race series this past winter. Killer racing from him in that winter series, was able to take the W there. But the latest racing for him was on the 8th of August, actually, about a week ago in the PRS Project Race Series. He took the W in that, actually, it looks like, with an average of 5.2 watts per kilogram, I think, for his 95% actually power there. That's absolutely killing it. He was racing up against Lee James. He took it by a solid, it looks like 36 seconds actually ahead of any of the chasers. So Diner here with that Zotto approval badge. So he has submitted strain gauge power meter files actually for these efforts, for those of you raising eyebrows at some of the effort here. So Diner here absolutely killing it with some verified power. We are seeing Johan Gren trying to chase that down. It is 1 second between him and Diner, though. 184. Diner doesn't have a whole lot of beats to work with. I think he's about 5 within what is max. So this is an all-out attack. He cannot hold on to this pace for the full duration of the climb. He's trying to get a little bit of a gap and then set it at a steady, high effort to the top, though, after this attack. I don't believe we are going to be seen up in that 7 the entire time. It is just these little bumps. 184, I believe, is not going to be seen for much longer, as we are seeing Johan here being dropped off to 5 seconds now. Gren not able to hang on to the incessant pace being sent there by Mr. Dino. 184, 6.3 watts per kilogram, just pinned it at 184 beats per minute right now. The German rider has 6 seconds solid over Sweden right now with Johan Gren from PTZ. Not sure he's going to be seeing the likes of Diner again at that 7 seconds up front. You know, in the Zwiftcast, we did have a little feature on Scotty Weiss, and his removal from Zwift recently as he put out a crazy effort. It was Diner actually versus Scotty Weiss. We had a Vision Cycling versus Team Experimental race a few weeks back in one of the XRS races. It was a killer setup actually, and Diner and Scotty were just going head to head, and definitely some sort of a rematch I would like to see, as these kind of efforts we are very, very rare to be able to see that are verified out on Zwift. And Diner hit on that 6.3 watts per kilogram, absolutely killing it right now. As we said though, was not going to be able to hold on to 184 all the way through. He was within just a few beats of his max, and that heart rate needs to come down closer to a threshold, and you do see it starting to drop here. 5.9, 6.0. He got the gap, and now he's going to try and hold on to it right around where he can hold for the rest of the duration of this climb. This is in the likes though of that domestic to upper tiers of the domestic pro to international pro level here that we are seeing for these kind of power numbers from Mr. Philip Diner as he kills it up and over the top of this box hill. Gren now 4.5 watts per kilogram, also putting in a solid effort, able to hold off Hazelstead, who's now trying to chase down Gren, who's fallen off, but doesn't look like he's going to see him again at 52 seconds. That's just too much to close down. It doesn't look like Hazelstead and Kalen, though, were able to get a little bit of a gap over Post with 23 seconds over him, 170 beats per minute. Pelosi and Oxenham, this is what we were talking about. If a rider was unable to hold on to the pace being set up and over the top of Box Hill a second time and put too many of their chips on the table and lost too many of them, too much of an effort up and over the top of Box Hill the first time, as you see from Post here, burnt maybe one too many matches. Oxenham right along with Fleetwood and Pelosi now closing it down here and are going to be battling it out for that fifth position now with Jay Post, and maybe even see Kalen and Hazelstead. We'll have to see if they are able to hold on to this 26-second gap. It's not a whole lot yet, as there is a lot of racing yet to go to the finish line. Diner still with 6.4 open over the top. Almost finished with this climb now. One last little kick. 178 beats per minute with 21 seconds over Gren. Does look like he's going to be walking away with this one today in the A category. We are seeing Big Phil for the win coming from Aaron Locke. Thanks a lot for the cheering on out there of your favorite riders. Coming from Mr. Aaron Locks himself, one of the Vision Cycling riders, actually. We're seeing Casey Chum, seeing Phil needs to break him on the climb. Go, go, go. A little bit of cheering there coming from Casey. And Lee Prouty saying cadence so low. Good to see Lee hanging out in the broadcast as well. A lot of the common viewers here hanging out. No angry faces today, Lee? What's going on? That's kind of an inside joke. Lee always brings the mad faces for some reason to the broadcast. Good to see you here, Lee, hanging out in the broadcast today. Ivy or Steele is saying this is for real. Yes, Steele, this is definitely for real out there today. These are real people. 174 beats per minute actually taking place from Diner. We'll try and get Philip Diner maybe in to a Zwift on board type broadcast maybe at some point here where we actually see his actual real life effort being thrown down coming out of Germany there. Johan Gren is actually at 171 beats per minute. He has an actual heart rate monitor with a real power source here, kicking out this kind of power into real pedals right now as they do this last effort up and over the top of Box Hill. It does look like Diner was able to grab a little bit of RNG in his favor here as he did go through the KOM banner at a 5:52. He actually bettered his time up and over the top of Box Hill from the first time up and over the top. That climb at the bottom, or that attack, excuse me, at the bottom of the climb definitely set him up well for a 5:52. That is absolutely flying, boys and girls. Diner here, 4.6 now, going to rest it up over and over the top now, 35 seconds out. Hazelstead with Kalen now, and Post now trying to make that chase and hold off Oxenham and Pelosi, who are trying everything they've got right now to close this down. Oxenham with one last little kick, 7 watts per kilogram, almost back on a Post wheel, but not quite there. It is 12 meters. There's always a race of meters, boys and girls. Dropping off Pelosi. Hold on to that draft now. Drafting does exist in game now as Oxenham here, 168 beats per minute, just barely crawling and scraping his way to the wheel of Post and just barely grabs onto it now. And now it's going to be all about that 5th place position out there as 4th, I believe, and 3rd have been decided for this group for Kalen and Hazelstead. Second place is going to be going to Gren, barring any kind of major disaster. Diner, of course, off the front with that crazy effort into a 5:52 with the attack up and over the top of Box Hill. Doing a great job today. And Lee Prouty, sick must be that. Good to see you there, Lee Prouty, again with the comment. Not sure what's happening with the comment there, but always good to see you with your comments hanging out over at the broadcast. I can see all the comments over at Mixer. We do see Toledo Torpedo hanging out as well as Rogers. SW, good to see SW actually. Scotty Weiss himself tuning in over at the broadcast on Mixer. Good to see you there, Scotty Weiss. SW and Diner head-to-head would be great. We are seeing, maybe it is the second time I was kicked out. Good, I'm happy. Feeling amazing, partly due to Zwift and all the people pushing each other. Scotty Weiss, world champion, actually. When is the race, Scotty, for your defense? I would love to hear all about that, Scotty, if you do have a chance to give us any kind of info. Actually, we should just get you over on the web show with some interview all about your training and your lead up into your defense of your world championship, actually. And we would love to see a repeat battle between you and Philip out on course for sure. Let's get that going as soon as possible, actually. Maybe we can schedule something for next week if you got some time there. Gren, now we are seeing 102 back now at 146. He says he leaves Saturday, so no, we won't be doing a broadcast next week on it. But maybe we can catch you prior to next week, maybe Friday or so. Probably getting ready, but let's get to, maybe make sure to contact me. I'd love to hear all about your preparation and what you've been up to, getting prepared for. He says, Scotty Weiss says TT next Wednesday, road race the following Saturday. So Scotty Weiss is the current Masters world champion, and he is the reigning TT as well as road race Masters world champion, and hanging out over at the Mixer channel, chatting and viewing the race out there today. He's been using Zwift for preparation, and he's got his TT next Wednesday and his road race on Saturday. So let's make sure to give him as much good luck and blessings as we possibly can from the Zwift community, and encouragement on toward that defense. We do have a question there from Toledo Torpedo. When and where is the championship, Scotty? So love to hear all about it. Wallstrom saying good luck to Scotty Weiss. Diner here, 4.7 watts per kilogram, though. Let's talk about the race that's panning out in front of us right now. At 40 seconds back, we do have Johan Gren, 5.9 watts per kilogram, 6.0. One last kick as he comes out of the underground here, and is able to hold off Hazelstead and Kalen. It is going to be a battle there, though, for third place between those riders. 43 seconds up, it is going to be Diner now, though, with the win, 174 beats per minute. Gren now fading to 2.2. Looks like he's put out everything he's got out there today. He's just going to hold it on to a tempo or damage control mode at this point, as he does have a solid minute 17. I don't think he's going to be seen again. Now the battle for third is heating up, though, out of the underground. 142, 143 from Hazelstead, 152 from Kalen. Going to be an interesting battle, as they're definitely holding back a whole lot at this point, waiting for those moments to attack, resting up as much as they can, because it's going to have to be a huge, crazy effort to try and break things apart and play those cat and mouse games between each other, try and get the gap and hold off the other once you do have that gap. That's always the question, whether or not you can break the other rider from your draft. You got to drill it at an absolute crazy effort to hold off the other rider and not allow them to draft you to the line. Hazelstead was holding on to a feather power up into that 10 watts per kilogram. Kalen actually, excuse me, with that feather power up, 12 watts per kilogram. Hazelstead does have 11 to follow there. It is a gap, though, of about 8, 9, 10 meters at this point. Kalen's going to have to hold on to it all the way to the line. He opened up an immediate 20 meters. Hazelstead closing it down to 15. Will he be able to close it down? It is 7 watts per kilogram. We are seeing Kalen now steady at 172. 1 second is the gap. Can he hold on to 1 second all the way to the line? 13 meters. There is no draft right now on Kalen at this point. Will he be able to hold it off? There is the gap, boys and girls. It's being closed down. 28 miles per hour. Hazelstead almost back within, but not quite. 7 meters. Will he be able to kick 6 watts per kilogram one more time? 28 miles per hour. We are seeing Hazelstead now 28 as well. Kalen now back out to 6 meters. Will he close it? Almost, and he does have it. There it is. Johan Grant about to cross the line. We already do have Diner across the line with the W. We missed him cross the line, but Philip Diner did take the W out there today. Grant now getting the cheering on from the crowd as they make his way to the line for second place out there today. Kalen and Haselstead all back together. Grupo Compacto. It's going to be a sprint effort to the line. Grant now with 200 meters to go. A minute up from those chasers for that third place out there today. Haselstead 1.66, 3.2. You're definitely playing some cat and mouse games there today for sure. And nobody really wanting to put too much effort at the front of that group for third. Nice job to Gren. He crossed the line for PTZ in second place. Kalen here now. No kicks just yet, but Pelosi with a 2-4 actually second gap over Oxenham made an attack. It looks like was able to hold on to it out of Italy there. 6.7 watts per kilogram. No kick yet from Kalen or Haselstead. Now 5.2 watts per kilogram. Wrapping it up a little bit now, but I think Haselstead sitting in, getting that draft and not allowing Kalen to go anywhere. He's going to try and draft him all the way to the line. Kalen now the one who's going to have to make the initial jump or allow Haselstead to come around and then jump him to the line. But as soon as Haselstead goes to the front, 13 watts per kilogram with 300 meters to go. And who's it going to be? He's got a 1 second gap to Kalen. Kalen unable to grab onto that wheel. He got the jump. Not going to be seen again. And it was all about as he came around whether or not he was able to hold off, and he was able to do so. Grabs that third place. Kalen there for fourth. Looking back now, we are seeing Pelosi here bringing it in for fifth place in this A category today. Oxenham for sixth. Looks like Post now able to hold off Fleetwood. And it looks like Oxenham actually was able to get the better of Post, who did go with the group earlier. Post was caught, but now is going to be able to hold off Fleetwood. 9.7 watts per kilogram. Solid ride there for J Post. Fleetwood now coming across the line. Loving the customization. I don't know. Is he like long socks, Zwift hat, and a beard with cool shades? I think I remember somebody saying that's the way to go out on Zwift. Nice one there, Fleetwood. Good to see it. And now we are seeing 6.4 watts per kilogram coming from Marshall. And Larson now about to battle it out, I think, with Payne in the B category. Marshall kicking up an 8 watts per kilogram or so, 189 beats per minute. Larson trying to follow up into 11 watts per kilogram. Not sure he's going to be able to. Oh, and maybe a nipping him just barely at the line. He does pull it off just barely. Nice job to Larson there. 13 watts per kilogram. A lot of encouragement going out to the SW there over at the Mixer channel, though. Nice to see all of the encouragement there being thrown down to him. We are going to go back to the C category just momentarily. Again, though, we want to make sure everybody knows that tomorrow is Workout Wednesday with Coach Hendy. We will be posting right along with the information on all the workout over at Zwift Community Live's Facebook. We also push it out over at Twitter. So if you would like to follow along with the broadcast tomorrow, we are doing a dose of Dow set, which sounds to be like it's going to be a little bit of a TT effort, actually training your functional threshold power live with Coach Hendy. You can head over to coachhendy.com to find all of his workouts for a download. And we will be posting this workout, a dose of Dow set, for free, actually. And you can join us. Go ahead and load up that workout a little bit before 8 p.m. British Standard Time tomorrow. And you can join us for that workout live, actually, on Zwift's Facebook, as well as all of Zwift's Community Live's outputs. So you can go ahead and join us on Mixer, Twitch, or YouTube. And you can also catch the VODs of the last two workouts over at our YouTube. Probably the easiest way to find them. We do have the C category now heating up for the finish. We do have Smith, it looks like, here, right along with Elder. About 2:13 or so up from the rest of the riders in the C category. He's going to be getting an upgrade. He did do a solid up into the 4.0 watts per kilogram for 20 minutes or so. Johnson Brown saying, great broadcast. And I even got excited for third and fourth place attacks and effort. I look forward to further broadcasts. Really appreciate the comment there. I'm actually going to read that all the way through. But look forward to further broadcast. Better than, let's go ahead and make sure I catch everything there. Now, the compliments are always super appreciated, and he is saying better than real life commentaries on pro tours. Oh my gosh, Johnson Brown, I appreciate the comments so much, and thanks for tuning in. We'd love to see you out on the races as well, jumping out on to Zwift. We'll make sure if you let us know that you're racing, we'll make sure to catch it for the coverage for sure in whatever race that you are jumping into. So again, tomorrow though, Workout Wednesdays is the next thing coming up on the channel on Zwift Community Live. We will be live with it out on Zwift's Facebook as well. So make sure to catch us over either on Mixer, Twitch, YouTube, or on Zwift's Facebook for that. And go ahead and tune in for the live broadcast of Workout Wednesdays with Coach Hendy. We'll be loading up the details on that momentarily. You can find all the details on Zwift Community Live. If you have not done so already, make sure to head on over to Zwift Community Live's Facebook and throw that a follow, or follow us on Twitter, and we will get the information for that download out as soon as possible. We are seeing N. Smith here up in that 5.9 watts per kilogram on the Go-Go Power Rangers. I actually didn't realize he was on the Z Power, so absolutely demolishing the field here on the Z Power here. But we are seeing Elder here now on a real power source, either Smart Trainer or a power meter, killing it here at 3.0 watts per kilogram. We'll give a ride on to Smith though. Great job to him off the front. Actually, we already did give him a ride on, so great job to him. But Elder here with Suarez trying to chase him down about 45 seconds back. Elder actually hanging amongst some of the B riders, so he's gonna be getting an upgrade to the B category. Suarez here again, 3.5 watts per kilogram off the front out of Spain here, gonna be taking the second place position from the rest of the C riders. Graham was caught and unable to hold off Elder and Suarez, who did get away from him, but was able to at least hold on to, it looks like, the chase group right along with Horkin, and it looks like P. Oliver, who are trying to hang on for the sprint finish to the line. Graham now 1 second up, 2 meters. Horkin does close it down there, it looks like, very quickly out of Great Britain. Suarez now out of Spain trying to hold those boys off, 3.3 watts per kilogram or so. Elder now up into 3.1, holding on with another PTZ rider, it looks like, in the B category. Looks like it's going to be a sprint finish between M. Carroll and the rest. Elder getting a little bit of advantage hanging out with some of these other B riders, actually. And at 5.3 watts per kilogram, it looks like all the way to the line, going to be with these B riders. Suarez now in the C category. We're going to go ahead and follow him to the line for that second place. I'm going to have a question here real quick. What was going on with the mixing in of all the riders? If we do have any KISS, officials in the Mixer broadcast or anywhere else, let us know, please, as I would love to know if that was if that's going to be what's going to be the future of the KISS races. It does mix up a lot of the riders. They do see all of the other riders around them and are drafting off some of the riders, so the separation of the categories then just with the riders nearby makes it interesting. More of a mass start though, mass start type effort for sure. Real Madrid, good to see you. You are so cool. Thanks a lot, Real Madrid. Good to see you. No FG. What is this? It is so cool. This is an actual massive multiplayer online game in which riders are actually riding real bikes in order to power these avatars forward. As you are seeing Horkin here with a sprint finish. It looks like 177 beats per minute, 489 watts, holding off the rest of the riders at this point. But we do see one last little kick here from Oliver, going to be coming around 5.7 watts per kilogram. Suarez just crossing the line. Looks like he's going to be taking the W there, but it is going to be Graham, who was patient all the way to the line, takes the W here in the sprint finish for, I believe it was, third place out on course amongst the C category. Solid ride all around from those riders. Real Madrid, we do have a YouTube channel. It is just Zwift Community Live. Zwift Community Live is our YouTube channel. Thanks a lot for the question over at the Mixer channel. For those of you just tuning in and asking a bunch of questions over at the Mixer channel, wondering what is Zwift, we're going to go over the results here real quickly, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys a little bit of a video that'll give you an idea of what Zwift exactly is. But ZwiftPower.com is going to provide us with the current results. These are preliminary results. For some reason, Philip has female avatar next to his name. I'm not sure. It definitely didn't have female avatar in game. So maybe a odd pickup there from zwiftpower.com. But Philip Diner takes the W here, 5.1 watts per kilogram for his 20-minute effort. Nice job. Followed by Johan Gren and then Eric Halselstead. Vision Cycling, who's who Philip is representing. PTZ is for Johan Gren and Eric Halselstead riding for Velocity. Tom O'Kalen for the KISS Racing Team. And Clement Pelosi out of Italy riding unattached. In the B category, we do see Andrew Payne with an upgrade at 4.2 watts per kilogram, right along with Ged Moore there, and then Michael Graveland, all with upgrades 4.2, 4.1, 4.1 watts per kilogram. Within category limits, we do have Martin Tucker. Good to see him out of Great Britain. Switches country flag, looks like. Used to be out of South Africa, but good to see him 3.8. Right on the edge, we do have Marcus Beerline, 4.0 watts per kilogram in that B category. For the C category, Nathan Smith on the Go-Go Power Rangers 3.7 grabs a solid effort there, but is going to be getting an upgrade to the B category, and then Mike Elder as well into that B category. We are seeing Juan Fernando, though. Nice job to him for the BRT team. Takes the W there in the C category with Ed Graham, 3.1 watts per kilogram, followed by Paul Oliver at 3.3 as well. Solid effort all around from those riders. So there's the results here for the A, B, and C category. Next up on Zwift Community Live, we will be having the Workout Wednesdays with Coach Hendy, Greg Henderson. We will be updating all of the outputs to our Zwift Community Live Facebook as well as Twitter with the workout and information about how to download that workout and upload it to your Zwift so that you can join in with us tomorrow for Workout Wednesdays. If you're unfamiliar with Zwift and you're just tuning in over at some of the places, Facebook, Mixer, Twitch, or YouTube, here's what Zwift exactly looks like. These are real efforts from real riders. But that's going to be it for me today. After this promo, we'll go ahead and I'll be signing off. So great job to all the riders as always. And as usual, ride on.